Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq, with daily insight on the Nasdaq 100 Index, or the NDX, which is made up of 100 of the largest domestic and international non-financial innovative companies listed on Nasdaq. The NDX has been a barometer for U.S. large-cap growth, and also one of the best-performing indexes over the last decade and a half, not to mention one of the most liquid index ecosystems in the world. Joining me this Monday afternoon, we have Chris Dearborn, Managing Director on Nasdaq's Market Intelligence Desk, for an update on technical levels to watch in the Nasdaq 100, with stocks shaving some losses from earlier in the session. And Chris, Friday felt like it was a lot of short covering, because who wants to be long or short in the weekends when there's so much uncertainty out there beyond what the Fed can control?
Yeah, the day traders have taken over with that bearish tilt for the last couple of weeks, and we've talked about that a few times here. Really, the narrative has not changed that much. You've got inflation. You're worried about the Fed's with the soft landing. You've got issues with COVID in China with the lockdowns. That plays into that growth story, which is always concerning for tech names and other high valuation companies. And obviously the issue with what's the war continuing in Ukraine. So none of that's really changed here. You've gotten a little bit of more macro data today. The New York manufacturing number was a little bit light, so that led to a little bit of a wall of worry. And then Chinese data was a little bit worse than expected, but that's kind of to be expected when you're shutting down cities of 5, 10, 20 million people, if not more. And that's just consumer numbers are just going to be bad for a while until that starts to get going. So overall, short covering into the weekend, absolutely. Today, a little bit of waffling back and forth. Markets are kind of mixed here as we move into the last hour of trading. Definitely a rally from the lows, though, that we saw this morning. Yeah,
that's what I noticed too, Chris. And I think that's what makes it so challenging, not only for swing traders, but even for the day traders. It's really difficult to hold positions on just from the open to the close, or look how fast things are moving. Let's take a look at your first chart here. What are the technical levels that are key for you here?
Right, so the candle's gone green. Even though the index is in the red today, it's trading at about 12,360 right now. So definitely a little higher than when I sent the chart earlier to you. We opened this morning at 12,297. Want to stay above that level, obviously, on a closing basis. The rest of the market has moved higher. The NDX is one of the few laggards here because of the growth names in there. Target here in this move is 12,300. Support sits at 12,100. We do not want to break the open this morning. And more importantly, on an intraday basis, we do not want to break 12,300 at any point for the daily chart. We hold above that level, this candle turns green. You got a nice V bottom for the last 5 days coming here. That bodes well for that move to 12,830, and then above that, 12,890.
And if we take a look at your final chart here, we can see constituent performance and what's adding to the index.
Right. It's about 45 names positive, 55 names negative. That's a big reversal from where we were this morning. Microsoft had a large intraday reversal on news. Stock is now up over 1%, where it was one of the largest laggards this morning, dragging the index down a few hundred points. Meta is also doing well, up over 2%. And then you've got some of the consumer names with Pepsi and Comcast both up over 1.5%. Very strong. Amazon's down about 0.91%, give or take right there. And Tesla's getting beat up a little bit again on the Twitter news back and forth, and some of the other interesting tweets that we see coming out about the company. So that shaved about 5% off, or about 27 points.
All right, Chris, appreciate the insight as always. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.